I text that again. Tell them boys to give me 150 M's. I'm coming. You know what I mean? When I start streaming out that, and that, stop it. Knock it off, cuz. Stop it. Tell them to send that bag, and I'm coming. And I'm, you know.
Gervonta Tank Davis initially stated he can't fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who is 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, until he reached the status of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez.
Man, I think it's great for boxing. I think like boxing right now is like on top, you know what I'm saying, of the sport, bro. You know, one thing is boxing will never die, bro. Like everybody wants to see that kind of combat.
Gave his first words on the Jake Paul fight, making it clear he isn't impressed. Davis confidently said that Jake can't compete with me, stressing that the YouTuber turned boxer is nothing more than an Instagram boxer. He added that Jake is just fat and lacks the skills or experience to truly challenge him, leaving no doubt about how little he values Jake's chances to me. Like, I don't think that would even be like fair.
To me, like, I don't think that would even be like fair.
No, I think that he's you know how he got fat? He's a Instagram boxer.
Yeah, he's a good-looking guy. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to leave my girl around him and shit, but like, I don't know about when it comes to boxing, like,
it wouldn't be fun. He's a
no,
really good looking guy.
I wouldn't want to leave.
No, he
like,
would. It's not
you
fair.
know, I'd probably be a little worried, to be honest. But
With Ryan?
when it comes to boxing,
Ryan
it's
looks like a Greek
Tank,
goddess.
Tank would fucking toss him down.
No, he
Yeah.
does. He's a good looking dude. You're right. I would be afraid
Yeah.
to leave my girl around him.
And he is dope to watch in like the Instagram videos and shit too. Like he
he
has fast hands and shit.
He's
obviously a good boxer, but
yeah.
what about when it comes to like this level? It wouldn't even be fair.
He can't compete with me. People in the gym will tell you like I've really got top.
Really got top ski Gervonta. Davis has never shied away from speaking his mind about opponents, and Jake Paul has often been at the center of those conversations. In earlier interviews, Davis dismissed the idea of facing Jake, saying he would only consider such a fight if Jake ever reached the status of legends like Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, or Canelo Alvarez. By setting that standard, Davis emphasized that boxing is about legacy, hard-earned respect, and accomplishments built over years of battles. Not quick fame or social media popularity yet. Now, with the fight officially confirmed, the narrative has shifted. Many fans are pointing out the contrast between Davis's earlier stance and his current acceptance of the deal. Critics argue that while he once placed legacy above everything, the lure of a massive payday may have influenced his decision to them. Davis has moved from dismissing Jake as irrelevant to seizing the opportunity when money came. Calling. This change has sparked debate among boxing fans, raising questions about whether Davis is staying true to his legacy-driven ideals or simply cashing in on spectacle.
Gervonta Tank Davis initially stated he can't fight YouTube sensation turned professional boxer Jake Paul, who is 12 wins, 1 loss, no draws, 7 wins by way of knockout, until he reached the status of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. And now yesterday, we have gotten an announcement that November 14th in Atlanta, Georgia, Gervonta Tank Davis, instead of fighting the highly anticipated rematch with WBA super featherweight, now lightweight star title contender, whom they fought March 1st to a controversial draw, and that being Lamont Rose Jr., who is 25 wins, 1 loss, 2 draws, 10 wins by way of knockout. Gervonta Tank Davis is instead going to fight Jake Paul. So now he views himself on the level of Floyd Mayweather, Manny Pacquiao, and Canelo Alvarez. He feels like he has achieved what he set out to achieve to reach that level. And or he just seen the money flashing and decided that's the right direction to go in, because he clearly has not reached that level. he said that he had to do things in the sport of boxing still and fight his peers. He's only fought one guy.
He's only fought one guy, Shocker Stevenson, an undefeated and highly skilled fighter, also shares his thoughts on the matchup. He acknowledges that Jake Paul might bring a size advantage into the ring, but he firmly believes it won't make a difference against Gervonta Davis. Stevenson explains that boxing is not won by size alone, but by superior skills, speed, and intelligence inside the ring. In his opinion, Davis possesses all these qualities in abundance, giving him a clear edge. Stevenson confidently dismissed the idea that Jake could compete with Tank. He argued that Jake, despite training hard and gathering some wins, is not at the technical level of fighters who have dedicated their entire lives to boxing. For Stevenson, Davis's explosiveness, accuracy, and fight-ending power would always overshadow Jake's physical size. This opinion adds weight because Stevenson himself is known for his analytical approach and precision inside the ring.
His last fight when he fought Lamont, Jake Paul was at the fight. He told y'all he was going to fight somebody like Jake Paul. So I'm not shocked. It don't surprise me. So, nah.
You know, Shakur, Jake, when he fought Mike Tyson, he was 227 pounds. He was 199 and like 199 point something his last fight against Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He hasn't been only boxing for a couple of years. He's 12-1. Tank Davis obviously been boxing his whole life. He's 30-1. He's knocked everybody out except for 3 opponents in his life. But at what point does size matter so much, though, where it can't be overcome, Shakur? And is it in this case here when you've got what is like a 70-pound difference between these two guys?
I mean, size will play some part of the fight, but if I'm thinking like I'm Tank, I'm probably just going to go out there and try to outbox him and use my knowledge and IQ against him. So I can see Tank just outboxing him and making it real easy.
Is there any way you could, any realistic or legitimate way in your mind you could see Jake Paul winning a fight against Tank?
No.
No way.
Nope.
Not a lot of people have talked about Jake and said he's got good power. Not even and I get anything could technically happen, but you don't even see a realistic shot where he could land one big punch and Tank being so much smaller, he just can't handle the power.
Nah, not at all. I think Tank is he's been boxing his whole life. He's been boxing since a kid, so I doubt like that's gonna be an issue or problem. I think Jake is good for where he's at, but I think it's just levels.
British heavyweight Dave Allen expressed his disappointment with the idea of Gervonta Davis versus Jake Paul, labeling it as another unnecessary exhibition-style event. Allen emphasized that boxing should focus on real competitive matchups rather than spectacle-driven contests. For him, Davis has already established himself in the sport, and instead of lowering his career value by fighting Jake Paul, he should look toward retirement or competitive fights against established boxers. Allen explained that fights like these take away from the traditional spirit of boxing. He criticized the trend of exhibition matches involving social media stars, suggesting that they are more about money and entertainment than the authenticity of the sport. In his opinion, the best way to respect Davis's career is not by throwing him into an unusual matchup with Jake, but by allowing him to step away from the ring on his own terms.
He's training this fight, but fighting against real bears. This is true. People are going, no chance, no chance. Do you reckon this guy, could he be the toughest of your opponents so far, do you reckon?
I don't think he's the best that I've faced. I've faced a few Olympic medalists, a few world title challengers, but I think he's probably the most dangerous. Maybe not the best boxer, he might not be the most technical, but he hits really hard, he's really big and strong, so yeah, I think it's the most dangerous task I've faced, but he may be not the best fighter I've been in with.
Whereabouts is the fight, Dave? Where are you fighting him?
He's still at Sheffield Arena,
right?
Headlining in Sheffield, which is like my local arena. So yeah, it's a big night for me.
He won his last fight, didn't he, Dave, against Ricardo Brown, and 20 wins, 19 KOs he's got. So like you says, he is dangerous. How's the training gone for you ahead of this fight?
Yeah, it's been good. He's put a bit of fear in me, to be honest. I have had a bit of genuine fear. I've been stopped, but I've never been on the canvas ever as a pro or amateur. So, and I'd like to keep it that way, really. Yeah. I'm not on anyone's highlight reel. You see highlight reels of all the fighters I face. I'm not on any of them, and I'd like to keep it that way. So yeah, training has gone up a notch for the Fisher rematch. I did weigh a little bit heavy, so for this one, if I cut any corners, there's a good chance I'll get beat in bad fashion. So it has really perked me up a little bit. I've been training a tiny bit harder. I've been eating a whole lot better and resting, and I think I'm looking at a career best performance.
Good man. Let's move on top of this big news of the day. Cruiserweight Jake Paul and WBA lightweight world champion Gervonta Davis will step in the ring together in an exhibition in Atlanta November 14. For context, the top weight for cruiserweight sits at 90.7 kilos, while the heaviest a lightweight can be is 61.2. Dave, this is surely I know it's an exhibition, but this is a mismatch, surely. It's ridiculous.
I'm not a fan of exhibitions as it is. I think if we're doing exhibitions, if there have to be a thing, let it be a thing for retired fighters.
Hell's Show analysts dive deep into the discussion about the fight between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. Their debate makes it clear that while the matchup captures headlines, it may not carry the weight of a true competitive contest. Some compared it directly to Mike Tyson's recent exhibition fight, where the emphasis was more on entertainment value than proving anything inside the ring. The analyst pointed out the obvious imbalance. Jake Paul holds a much larger natural frame, which puts Davis at a clear physical disadvantage. Despite this, they acknowledge that Davis's speed, ring IQ, and skill set would allow him to find success even against a bigger opponent. However, they stress that the sheer gap in weight classes changes the nature of the fight altogether for them. It becomes less about who is the better boxer and more about how the spectacle unfolds for viewers. They caution fans not to mistake this matchup for a legitimate clash between equals, but to see it for what it truly is: an event designed to entertain, spark conversation, and generate massive attention. In the end, the fight in their eyes represents spectacle.
And by the way, I feel like this was similar to as I alluded to earlier, the Mike Tyson Jake Paul fight had similar kind of question marks around it. Is this going to be an exhibition or is this going to be an official fight? And you kind of go through the motions and go through the process of this. So I imagine that Jake Paul, Nikisa Badarian, and MVP are going through the process of trying to get this to be an official fight. And if not, they can still do this as an exhibition, no problem. What weight class they meet at is going to be very fascinating, right? Is Jake Paul going to try to get down lower in weight to make it more fair?
Can they meet at a weight class, or will they just agree on what they're willing to fight at?
Even if they meet at a weight class, let's just do the math, right? Even if they met at, I don't know, 190? No, I don't think Jake Paul can
can't get up to 190.
I don't think Jake Paul can get down to that.
So thus why I think it'll be an exhibition.
No, Gervonta can get up to, okay, there's in MMA, for certain weight classes, you must be a minimum weight, right? You can't be within X percentage difference of your opponent.
Yeah.
There are some jurisdictions where I don't believe that is accurate, where that is true. I'm curious if Atlanta is one of them. We should try to look into that if we can. Maybe Jordan can look into that. If there's a weight minimum that you have to meet. Otherwise, if they agreed to a catch weight of, let's say, 100, what's the lowest Jake Paul's ever fought at?
I don't know. 185 for the Nate Diaz fight?
I have to think that's the smallest, right? Here, we're going to do...
Okay, let's say he can get down to 180.
Unfortunately, Tapology doesn't have the weight on here.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say he can get down to one of those weights. Let's just say hypothetically 185. Is Gervonta Davis getting up to that?
He will not get up to that, but he can get within 20 pounds of it, maybe? Yeah, maybe.
I mean, do you think it's a strategic move for them to put it in Atlanta?
Carl FRT, the former super middleweight champion, didn't mince his words. When asked about the fight, he outright called the matchup an absolute joke. FRT is known for being brutally honest, and in this case, he made his stance clear. Such fights diminish boxing's integrity. He argued that Davis should focus on legitimate challenges within his weight class, and that Jake Paul's involvement in boxing should remain separate from elite-level fighters. Frat's blunt dismissal reflects the frustration many purists feel when spectacle fights overshadow genuine contests between world-class athletes. Interestingly,
just here at Los Naranjos in Viva, España, and I found out that Gervonta Davis is now fighting Jake Paul. So Jake Paul was supposed to be fighting AJ. Eddie Hearn announced 99% done, which we've just spoke about. what next for AJ? Potentially Jake Paul. But it now looks like that Jake Paul is fighting one of Anthony Joshua's legs. He's fighting Gervonta Davis, somebody who's a quarter of his size. I don't even know what's going on. Has Eddie Hearn been played? Let me know what you think. But the AJ fight with Jake Paul's finished. Gervonta Davis, fake Paul, November. I don't know what's going on in the world of boxing. This is an absolute joke. What next for AJ? We'll get into this, and there's so many questions I want to get into in the next episode. But I hope you enjoyed this one. And yeah, I just thought I'd give you a quick update because the news has just come in. And I'm just trying to relax and play a bit of golf, and I can't. I've got to get it off my chest. I'm going to add it to this video. Hope you enjoy it. Don't forget, if you haven't already, hit like, share, and subscribe to the best channel in the business, Frotch on Fighting, and we'll see you very soon.
Veteran boxer Gabe Rosado offered a very different perspective. While many have criticized the matchup, Rosado pointed out a surprising benefit, the undercard. He revealed that the entire undercard for Davis versus Paul would feature women's fights, making it a groundbreaking event for female boxing. In his view, this alone makes the card special as it puts a global spotlight on women's boxing through a massive platform like Netflix. Rosado explained that while the main event might not be competitive, the opportunity it creates for female fighters is huge. Millions of viewers who tune in for the spectacle will also witness high-level women's boxing, which could inspire more growth and investment in the sport. For him, this is the silver lining of an otherwise controversial matchup, proving that sometimes even unusual fights can bring positive outcomes.
Man, I think it's great for boxing. I think like boxing right now is like on top, you know what I'm saying, of the sport, bro. You know, one thing is boxing will never die, bro. Like everybody wants to see that kind of combat, you know what I'm saying? So I think it's great for the sport, you know, and the thing is that the Netflix, the production factor behind it is legit, you know what I'm saying? And the cards are actually good fights. The only one that was I mean a bit of a dud was was watching old Mike Tyson back, man. But I love Mike, you know, but he was, you know, he wasn't his usual self. But other than that, man, they've been great events.
What do you think about Tank and Jake Paul?
You know, man, I don't know if that's actually real. You know what I'm saying? Could it be just publicity? Could it be just, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's legit, man. You know,
You think Jake just posted it up too?
yeah. Well,
Not
yeah,
Tank yet. Not Tank yet, though.
yeah, that's, you know, that's part of the biz, man. It's just, look, man, one thing that I learned being around Jake, you know what I'm saying,
He
is,
posts early.
huh?
He
What's
be
up?
posting a little early.
No, no, no. It's just like he just gets people talking. You know what I'm saying? And he keeps his name, you know, on the top of the subject. You know what I'm saying? So um it's just it's marketing, bro. It's marketing.
Eddie Hearn added more intrigue to the situation by suggesting that a fight between Gervonta Davis and Shocker Stevenson could follow the Jake Paul bout. According to Hearn, this sequence could make sense both financially and competitively. The fight with Jake would generate mainstream attention and revenue, while a Davis versus Stevenson matchup would provide the purists with a true boxing spectacle. Hearn stressed that Stevenson has the talent and discipline to challenge Davis, and a fight between the two would carry enormous significance. For the lightweight division,